Hey, Fred.
You notice as you get older, you grunt when you sit down and get up.
Yes, and in between, too. Okay.
Listen to you. Anyway, wanted to talk a little bit about the adapters that you use. This is the Canon mount adapter EF to EOS R.
Well, explain that, what it's for.
Basically, it allows me to use this EF lens on this new mirrorless, and this is the R7. Gosh, I wanted to call it the 5. You got the 5.
I got the 5.
If you don't buy the native lenses that go with it, specifically the R lenses, you have to mount this EF to an R, and you do so with an adapter. Now the box, as you can see, pretty good size.
Yeah, because
And they give you, go ahead.
I should say, because they have eliminated the mirror.
Right.
Mirrorless, that's why they're called mirrorless, that there's additional room back there, so they've actually moved all that back, which means that now if we mounted our regular lenses on these, they wouldn't be in focus because the back focus is now moved back. So you have to have that adapter
Right.
in order. So they actually have a different mount too.
It's a totally different mount. You wouldn't get it to fit. You'd be going, oh, what the heck?
Right.
Anyway.
But if you did, it would be out of focus.
It's a good size box, and it has a lot of packing material in there. That's part of it. And of course, they give you a nice case, and then there is the actual adapter. And it fits on quite easily. I just line up.
And there are several different models of that. There's some that have,
Right.
the newer lenses actually have a ring back here that you can customize to be like ISO or whatever.
Right.
This one does not.
This is the base model.
Right.
And it's running. When I first got this, I bought it when I got the camera because I knew I wasn't going to have any of the new lenses yet. And this is my 90 macro lens, and I wanted to be able to use it. And of course, it's quite well on there. And just line it up. Come on, Fred. There we go.
That was easy.
Yeah. So, and it works beautifully. I have used this quite a bit already, and it works very nicely. But what we have is a contender. The company is called Meike, and they basically are making an adapter, much smaller box.
They make a great.
They make a great. And it's much.
Sounds Italian.
This is no frills. You don't get a bunch of bubble wrap or padding. You get this little plastic thing
But you
around
don't pay
it.
for it either.
No. Now, when I first bought my R7, I got the Canon EF to EOS R for $99, about $100.
$99 is what I paid for mine as well.
Right. It is going for $129.99, basically $130 now. So it's actually gone up in price.
Inflation.
And it has gotten to be a little bit more difficult to find than some of the other models. I guess it's very popular. Well, basically, Meike was able to license and make a deal with Canon. They also have a few lenses, although most of them are for specifically video. So with that in mind, I'll put this on. Camera. What have I got the wrong? Oh, yeah. So, the one thing I've noticed, size-wise, they're almost identical.
And we also weighed them. Put them on a little kitchen scale.
Come on now. There it goes.
We found that was there about a 20-gram difference that the
Right.
Meike was lighter than the Canon.
This is actually lighter, and you can tell it. We were holding it, so he wanted to. This is actually a little bit taller, but they're very close to the same size. It doesn't indent in, it's straight all the way through. But once I line it up, where's my line up here?
There's a little, should be a little red dot. Here it is.
There it is. It's very faint. Goes right on, and I'm able to. There it is.
And while Fred's doing it, I should mention there's no
There.
optics or anything in these. It's just basically electrical pass-throughs. And
Right. And this is
It's kinda like
basically
an
says right on
extension
it.
tube.
Yeah. It is, but it is designed to allow me to run this EF lens. It passes everything through to it. When I turn it on and I start taking,
And so it doesn't adjust the aperture value at all because
Nope.
basically that's the distance that that aperture was designed for. So an
Right.
f2.8 is still a 2.8.
so it does fine. This one works quite well. I noticed it was just as nice as far as focus and how it, there's no big deal as far as the difference. What does this cost? I got this one for $50.99, $51
And that's
now.
at Amazon.
Amazon has them. Many of the photo, especially online photo
Would carry it.
suppliers, carry it. I've noticed it in a lot of places. I just happened to get it on this. It was actually, when I first looked at it, about 53. I still thought that was a great price. It's actually went down a little bit, possibly for the holidays. But,
So
and it actually
basically-
takes away some of the weight then, because this being a little heavier,
Yeah, another 20 grams. And this, actually, you get 2 of those, and then you'd have enough left over for a nice meal for lunch.
and what's interesting is that this really came to be when I was doing a workshop and somebody had an R7 or an R5, I can't remember which, but they couldn't use any lenses on it. And they said, yeah, I can only afford this R lens. I couldn't afford a macro. And I said, well, you can use my macro. Hang on. And I let them have my Canon adapter, and that left me without the use of my R7
Oh, yeah.
for the entire workshop. But that's fine. I had another body there. But it's worked real well. Let's let Jim try
And
it.
it works on the R5. Now I'll pull my Canon off it here.
So let me turn this back off.
So this is the R5, and then, of course the mount is exactly the same.
There you go.
And once again, we will look, and there's the dot, and
Went
now,
on quite easily.
You don't leave the Canon adapter on there at the same time.
There you go.
There we are.
Try it out. See how it focuses, and you might be a little underexposed.
It's dark in here. That's weird. I'm not picking up my exposure or focus control. Oh, you know why? I had this on manual. See there? Yeah, there it goes. There we are. Yeah, that's working perfectly. Scared me for a moment. But yeah, it works fine.
So far, and we haven't done a lot of field testing with it, but
And
I have used it a little bit, and I was impressed. When somebody else reviewed it, they said, oh, it's a little thicker body, and the only difference,
It's
if we can
actually
show them
lighter.
side by side,
Yeah.
is that this starts out and it kind of drops in, it indents in a little bit.
There we go.
And if you put them side by side, there's negligible as far as the size of it. And as this is heavier, I'm getting less weight. I'm doing it for less money. So
Yeah,
if you have an R5, an R7, and I imagine the R3,
And
and
we'll
you,
mention too that it really isn't, other than passing through
Yeah.
the electronics, there's nothing else. There's no optics there, nothing.
so
It's
to
just like
me,
it's an extension tube with the
Right.
Electrical
that allows to
pass-through.
pass through everything.
Yep.
Don't use it as an extension tube because it's only meant to be an
Yeah.
adapter.
Well, like I said, it's like an extension. Basically, that's what it is. It's
Exactly.
an extension tube that's extending the L lenses to work
Right.
on an armor.
So now, if I'm doing a workshop or with a friend that has a mirrorless but wants to use any of my lenses, I can just lend them either the Canon or the Meike, and we're good to go.
Sounds
I
good.
think I'm going to leave the Meike on mine, because usually I don't keep everything put away. I have this camera ready to put a lens on, so I have my adapter on it. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, in my bag, I've made room for it with the
Because if
adapter.
something happens, if you have to unpack and put everything together, by the time
my
you get
gosh,
it done,
it's done.
whatever you were going to shoot is gone.
It'd probably be Martians landing, and then they would say,
They go,
too late.
Bye. Prove we were here.
Yeah,
All right.
it didn't happen if there's no photos or video. So, short and sweet, but it's a recommendation. At least check it out.
And that's
If you have
Meike.
a camera store near you, it would be a great way to try it out. Otherwise,
There is such a thing
I
anymore.
took, yeah, it's getting harder and harder to find. I took the leap of faith and went ahead and got it. I thought it was a really good price, and as I said, even less than I had originally. And of course, a lot of times with something like this, you can get free shipping, and so it
Yeah.
made it very reasonable.
And if these are on Amazon, you got this Amazon?
You can get them on Amazon.
We'll put a link down
There
here.
are
Again, if you order it
like I
from
said-
us or use that link, you're not ordering it from us, that Amazon will actually give us a few cents. And
Right.
It doesn't cost you anything more.
And as I said, if you are not a fan of Amazon or don't shop, many of the other, well, there'd be a couple you can think of off the top of your head. That
B&H.
B&H will carry it.
Hunts,
Yeah.
Maybe KEH.
Adorama?
Adorama, there's a number of them.
So there's a number of them, and most of them were carrying this. The price may vary. The most expensive I saw was $56. I thought that was not terrible, but now that it's dropped to 53 and 51, it makes a difference.
Yep.
And,
Well, you can get two of them, like I said, and still have money left over.
Right, if you were going to buy the Canon. And I'm not knocking the Canon adapter. It works fine. It works beautifully. But I've noticed two things.
But
Price going up, and that they seem to be a little harder to find.
And for what
a
it
lot
does,
of places,
there's no advantage.
no. And a lot of places were out of stock with this. So I don't know if they've sold it faster than they can make it, or if this will start eating into the line.
If they do, Canon will probably pull this. Say, okay, you can't do this anymore.
Well, they've already made the agreement with the company, and then of course they're the only one right now that have any adapters or lenses that will fit the Canon Mirrorless. So I think it's interesting. They don't have an extensive line of lenses yet, but I'm going to keep an eye on these folks because
Okay. Thanks, Fred.
it looks like it might be a good deal coming down the road.
Let's get
Hi, if you enjoyed this video, please go down here, subscribe.
Here.
There you are. Subscribe. Give us a comment. Even hit a like.
And if you want to be notified when we post new ones, hit the little bell down there, too.
Yeah. Ding, ding.